live, ladies and gentlemen. Going to share some links in the Discord, some Discords, some servers. Give it a few minutes, let's let some people roll in, and we can start. There's a new Top Boy series. Oh, thank you. Thanks so much. You didn't need to do that. I really appreciate that. Thanks so much. I do enjoy coffee. Yeah, the music's by a guy called Retro Ranter, and on this one he's got another guy called Margin Blue. I know them through the internet. They're both nice people, really nice people. So yeah, I really recommend their content. I've put the description I put a link in the description. You guys can take my games, but you can't take away my music for now, until YouTube steals it from me. But for now, it's still there. So we'll start about 5 past, if that's okay with everyone. A few more minutes. we're going to be talking a bit about the Boris Johnson stuff and a bit more about the Northern Ireland Protocol. Robert E. Lee statue removed in Virginia, about time. Hey RC, I'll be monitoring the chat a bit more closely just so we don't get a repeat of last week. Move on to the next song. Yeah, this one's by MB. This one's really good. I'll start this one from the beginning. Actually, this one's one of his best. Honestly, you know, it's got 286,000 views as well. It's crazy. This song I would play if I didn't get copyrighted, but yeah. This is some of his best. Some of the best around. This one's pretty good as well.
I am neither Goku nor Vegeta. I'm the guy who's going to stop you. This ends now!
Honestly, we better get started because I can listen to this music all day. They are that good. So we'll go to the first kind of article. There's a lot here. It's quite messy. So just bear with me a few minutes. I'll just bring up the comments on my phone. Excuse me, just so I can keep up with chat. In case it does kick off a bit. So yeah, what do you call it? So Boris Johnson, outlines a new 1.25% health and social care tax. So this is a national insurance, and do you know what? National insurance is a bit of a sneakier tax because, they claim it's ring-fenced and blah, 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 but it's more designed to hit low-income earners, especially because it doesn't actually impact as much those people who make a lot more money. So I found this clip from Owen Jones quite interesting. So just bear with me and we'll watch this clip. Just if the volume's a bit too low, let me know and I'll increase it.
Grotesquely unfair tax you pay as a cabinet minister. A Tory cabinet minister told The Telegraph national insurance is a grotesquely unfair tax. You pay a higher rate if you're a lower earner than if you're a higher earner.
Because there's a ceiling on it.
Absolutely. So over 50 grand or so, it goes down to 2%. And pensioners are exempt. Now, obviously, some pensioners are poor. Nearly 2 million pensioners are in poverty. I don't want them taxed either.
1.1 million live in, I think, severe poverty as well. So,
yeah, but a lot of pensioners are very wealthy and they are exempt. Now, national insurance, it doesn't apply to investment income, interest, dividends, for example, on company shares, rent. They all escape this. And
so what would you do? Because
two ideas.
Go on.
One, 15% tax charge on investment income of the wealthiest, £7 billion a year. Brilliant idea. Another one, capital gains tax. If you bring that up to the same level as income tax, and that's art works, for example, that's rental properties, that would bring in about £9 billion.
Is that true?
Absolutely, yes. In fact, an economist, brilliant
right
economist, Richard Murphy, who's an accountant who knows far more about this newer I.
Advisor,
no, what I would say, Jeremy, though, is it's very important that we do need to sort out this crisis. They promised in Boris Johnson's first speech as Prime Minister that he'd deal with this.
That's true. He said he would deal with it, and he still hasn't. This tax is a joke, anyways. Because he had no idea how to deal with it. This is just him covering himself.
Don't kick the young and low-paid workers, some of whom are going to get hit by universal credit cuts.
You can't raise tax unless it's from working people.
No, but
that's not true at all, because there is capital gains tax. You can do taxes on rent, but the problem is that will be passed on to the renters. So that's a joke. Jeremy Vine here is just a ridiculous human being.
You have to.
You can tax people who aren't working. So that's a joke. People who make money just off their investments, you can tax them way more. The capital gains tax system is
for me to say that we can pay.
So that's a joke. So if we look at Boris Johnson, his comments. By the way, my German pension is taxed. Just saying, these guys are full of frauds, lords of the frauds, as a man like Hugh Wizzy would say. So Boris Johnson said, this national insurance tax increase would raise 12 billion a year, designed to tackle the health backlog caused by the COVID pandemic. The issue is it's going to take a while to kick into actual effect because they won't do anything with the money until next year, and even then they have no idea what they're doing. Starmer called it sticking a plaster. Leaders in social care warned the money was nowhere near enough and would not address current problems. I mean, there are so many problems in healthcare right now with healthcare workers. There's a scarcity of them thanks to, in part, Brexit, but also the fact that because the wages are so low, the people that work in care homes now, they've moved to other jobs like working in Amazon where they make more money. So there's going to be a massive scarcity of care home workers. National insurance, this will be paid by all working adults, including older workers, but not pensioners. Government says it will be legally ring-fenced to only go towards health and social care costs. The problem is they could give that money to their mates, as they have done, so that money could be sent into privatisation. So that's a joke. Income share from dividends earned by those who own shares in companies will also see a 1.25% tax rate increase. I mean, that's a joke, isn't it? Because these guys make money just off their investments. They don't have to work for it, barely. But ordinary, hard-working people, they're going to face a massive face a tax increase. It's a joke. Especially because these guys will just keep offshoring their money anyways. The Institute for Fiscal Studies says the latest tax increases amounted to 14 billion. Together with those announced in the March budget, it said 2022 had seen the highest level of tax rises for 40 years. The other issue is that they've gotten rid of the triple lock pension, and that's going to cost pensioners a lot of money as well because of inflation. Johnson insisted with the new tax everyone will contribute according to their means. Well, that's not true, is it? Because lower people on the lower rung will pay a lot more as a percentage because of the way it is, because of the fact that there's a cap on national insurance when you're a higher earner. So let's have a look. You can't fix the NHS without fixing social care. That's true. Why did you guys break social care then? You can't fix social care without removing the fear of losing everything you to pay for your social care. Again, this is all you guys. You guys have done this. He also said the rise will target young people, so this is Starmer talking, will target young people, supermarket workers, nurses, rather than those with the broader shoulders, who should pay more, which is absolutely true. Absolutely true. The ones who will pay the most are poorer and working class people. Why? Because these are the workers who generate the wealth. This is where the money will come from. Starmer saying, read my lips, the Tories can never claim to be the party of low tax. True. Absolutely 100%. And Labour are not going to back this. And so Labour are going to look like they're on the side of the worker, which is going to be interesting to finally see a bit of that in action. The government are raising about 12 billion a year for 3 years with these tax rises. Just over 2 billion of that goes to Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, under the rules on how the UK government spending is split, so not a lot of it will go there. That leaves 10 billion a year for health and social care. Most but not all of it has been earmarked against particular parts of health and social care. About 6 billion has been earmarked for the NHS, so it's not even that much really when you think about it, especially due to the cuts that they've done. 2 billion a year will go to social care. That won't make a dent because our social care is privatised and these guys make a lot of money, these care home owners. So this is a joke. What they'll do is they'll privatise the profit and then socialise the losses. That's what will happen here. So these guys will make a lot more money and they'll just carry on running rubbish services because they can get away with it. Health is so broad a term. They can use to fund things like opinion polling contracts for Tory donors. Yeah, they could. Yeah, I think they've done that before, to be fair. Some of the remainder will be spent on tax. The Department of Health and Social Care and the NHS are big employers, so a tax rise for employers will mean they have to pay more. So nurses and other healthcare workers will have to pay more, thanks to the Tories. There's still at least a 1 billion increase in the DHSC budget, and this will further kind of cause further losses to nurses who have had a below inflation pay rise. So this makes it even worse for them, which is again just horrible stuff. sector in meltdown. However, there's anger from the social care sector. The amount, not enough has been given to them. Chief Executive of the UK Home Association, Dr. Jane Townsend, said this is nowhere enough. It will not address the current issues, and some may create new risks. And the thing is, without creating kind of something like what Corbyn said with a national care system, just like with the NHS, it doesn't. This isn't going to make a dent in it. This is. At least he's got a haircut, to be fair. This is not going to make that much of an impact. All it's going to do is take more money out of the hands of working class people, which is annoying. What's his name? Faisal Islam, the great one himself, points out, I did have this article highlighted, unfortunately. Let me see. There it is. So this tax increase doesn't just break a manifesto promise, it drives the JCB through it, which is funny. If you get that joke, then you'll know, Faisal Islam there, with 11.4 billion a year in extra taxes that were the subject of a guarantee they would not go up, because that's what the Conservatives said, because they said they will not increase the rate of income tax, VAT and national insurance, but they will fund extra 50,000 nurses and there will be 50 million more GP appointments this year, 20,000 more police and tougher sentencing, an Australian-paced point system which hasn't really come to fruition, millions invested into science, blah blah blah, and net zero, all of this stuff, right, without raising taxes. They were never going to achieve any of that without raising taxes. This COVID is just the smokescreen they needed to increase taxes to pay for some of this stuff. Go to comments. Standoff as just healthcare, social care, now broadened to health. This policy was piloted in Tory councils over the last few years. Among workers, the money would be raised in a, quote, progressive fashion, unlike, say, a VAT rise. A VAT rise would be very bad, with the highest earners paying the most. I mean, that's not true, really. It'd be depending on how they do it, it would be just mainly like non-perishable goods, and I think certain other things are exempt from VATs, not much though. However, some very low earners, including some on the cusp of losing £1,000 in annual universal credit, will face higher bills of £100. So their bills will go up and they'll lose money because of the cuts to universal credit. So that's £1,100 a month. That's money those people will definitely need, and money that would have went straight back into the economy. Just drop something, and it's pretty clear the rationale here is to be able to present national insurance increase of 1.25% as lower than the 2% rise in income tax that would have been required. So why they've done a national insurance increase is to hide, because they didn't want to do an income tax, because people understand income tax, I think, a lot better, and income tax sounds a lot worse than national insurance. National insurance, people associate that with going to social services, police, fire service, healthcare, etc. That's the reason why they've done this. Hello, Cruz. That's why they've gone for a national insurance increase. These are the things you need focus groups for to figure this stuff out. The argument is almost entirely presentational and relies on a general public lack of familiarity with how national insurance works. The tax rise on working families is effectively 2.5%, with the direct burden shared between workers and their bosses. That's not really true, though, is it? It's the workers that will pay the national insurance. As the Treasury acknowledges, however, firms may reduce wages or raise prices to pay the extra bill. They might do it so it's just not worth it to do certain hours, because the national insurance will be too high, so it wouldn't be worth doing extra hours at one point. Tax could have been raised on example for the inflating value of homes, especially at the point of them being inherited, so an inheritance tax. But as the Tories would call it, a death tax. They could have done an extra tax on housing, which potentially would have increased the cost, but it would stop the fire sale of houses right now. National insurance used to be called a jobs tax. The hope is by earmarking it for health and care and separating out this levy on all tax bills, the public won't mind. So that's the gamble they're making here. It's trying to say, it's for the NHS and social care. You're going to be old one day. You're going to be sick one day. So you're going to need this. That's kind of the argument they're going for. An Atlantis policy. So that's the reason they've done this. It's a great analysis here from Faisal Islam, as usual. The only thing I would have outlined is more options the government could have taken, but he's really good. And we've got the end of the triple lock. This is something Erin was asking about, or Era. I pronounced her name wrong, and she gets really annoyed at me for it. So you got this, the change. So the move follows the government concern that a big post-pandemic rise in average earnings would have meant pensions increasing by 8%. So pensioners are getting hit as well because they've lost their triple lock. She said pensions will still rise, but less quickly. They'll go up with inflation rather than the other metrics that they used. So under the triple lock, pensions increased by inflation. The increase in earnings between May and July, or 2.5%, whichever is greater. And obviously, inflation's going up by about 4%. So that would have meant a minimum 4% increase in pensions. And so the government have basically robbed money from pensioners here. The Conservatives promised in their manifesto to maintain the triple lock. Miss Kofi's announcement just hours after the Prime Minister's commitment by increasing national insurance to fund health and social care breached another manifesto promise. So that's multiple they've broken now. If suspending the triple lock for a year helps get a government deal on social care over the line, then I believe it's a price worth paying, but only if it's just a one-off. It's most likely not going to be a one-off. They'll do it until they can't get away with it. So Mr. Abrams said, with more than 2 million pensioners living in poverty, there was a strong case for keeping the triple lock untouched. They could have done it so poorer pensioners keep the triple lock, but they didn't do that. She added it was imperative that all triple lock reverts to normal next year to help all those pensioners on low and modest incomes. But the thing is, the issue is they're the ones that are going to need the most care, most likely with social care, with regards to helping themselves out day to day. So another sad one. Really, charities representing the elderly will hold the government to account that this is just temporary. They've missed. Others will consider as a missed opportunity to reform the triple lock system, even though its existence is a Conservative manifesto promise. Because the reason why they would have been very reluctant to get rid of this triple lock is because older people typically vote Conservative. But you can see here the government have broken multiple promises now on their manifesto pledge. So shocker, they lied again. Tory voters weren't abandoned on this. They're not voters, they're lackeys. We'll see. We've played that clip already. We'll go back to these tweets in a minute. But we'll see what Boris Johnson... Starmer had to say about this. Is this the same thing? Oh, my days. Sorry, Georgia, I'll reply later. I can't bring up the other post. So this is a tax rise, a promise that the PM made at the last election, a tax rise on young people, supermarket workers and nurses. A tax rise that means a landlord renting out dozens of properties won't pay a penny more, but the tenants working in full-time jobs would. A tax rise that places another burden on businesses just when they're trying to get back on their feet. Read my lips. The Tories can never claim to be the party of low tax again. It's a decent attack. The issue is Starmer will be asked Starmer should be asked how would he fund an increase to social care, and the question will be how is he going to do it. That's the music we were playing earlier, so we'll go where are we looking? So yeah, Theresa Coffey in the Commons confirms breaking the triple lock, which would have been an 8% hike in pensions. That will raise the treasury around £4 billion. But that's money some of that money would have gone back into the economy and propped up other things, which is a joke. The Tory party gets its money worth out of the voters. They're making them talking parts like Corbyn would have been worse. I mean, the Tory graph are calling it we've just witnessed the sound of the death knell for conservatism. Like, that's a bit extreme. It's a minor increase. Or it's not a minor increase, it is an increase, which shouldn't happen. But, these people are insane, to be fair. If we go to the tweets I wanted to talk about, which is that a response to seeing the idea that pensioners should downsize from large expensive homes to pay for care costs, but I've always lived here, as if living somewhere a certain length of time entitles you to have other people pay for you to stay there. I mean, this lady here, Rachel Cunliffe, has been on an absolute tirade against older people, or not against older people, but against the system. She says a third of young people will never be able to own a home at all thanks to the screwed up housing market, which has been exacerbated by people not downsizing when their homes are too big for them. No one talks about millennials' right to a home, which is true, that no one has a divine right to a home. And those people who do say that, I bought this when it was cheap and whatever, you're very, a lot more lucky to buy it when you did. But at the same time, I don't agree with a system that forces older people to sell a home. But the issue is that these people keep voting for the Tories predominantly, who are causing the problem. No one is trying to force anyone out of homes they are paid for, but the idea that those without homes should subsidise people who have wealth but don't feel like spending it very much is deeply regressive. Yet some will pretend they're okay with it. Why should you decide to stay in a house you cannot afford without other people paying for your care? Which is true, to be fair. Why should someone else pay for your care? Because you have assets that you are unwilling to sell. You have money, but you're deciding not to use it. You get extra points, by the way, if you've blocked every effort to build more homes in your area, thus denying adequate homes to the very people you're now expecting to pay more tax, which is true. They are called My Generation Entitled. what I'm not getting a response to this thread is that most people don't understand how national insurance works. Is that today's pensioners are, paid for this. Hint: it isn't other people. It isn't other people's social care. They're demanding a benefit. They did not fund for this cohort for. So I think what she's saying is like, you paid national insurance for the generation above you, not for yourself. Final comment, love all the people accusing me of being a communist. Guys, you're the ones who want other people's taxes to pay for your benefits so you don't have to spend your own money. She's been an absolute tirade, to be fair, for the last couple of days. So this, we'll go through that other tweet in a second, the one she's quote tweeting. So this guy here talks about, the portrayal of pensioners as freeloaders is pretty sick. Most of these people worked hard and paid taxes. He's saying that's true, but we also need to be clear-eyed about the fact that a fifth of pensioners are sitting on houses worth over £1 million. Over 65s own more than half the country's wealth. Free prescriptions, winter fuel allowance, they don't pay, I think that's national insurance contributions. These people never paid in to fund social care, that they benefited from a lower tax system, and now that when things have to go up in price and taxes have to be collected to fund their kind of adult lifestyle or their kind of senior lifestyle, that's, they're expecting younger people to pick up the tab for it. Resolution Foundation figures show people born in 1956 will each receive on average 291,000 more in their lives from the welfare state than they paid in. There have been a massive increase in wealth owned by homeowners because of the fact that they own homes. And they've gone up in value. You could argue that they bought assets that have appreciated in value, but the problem is homes shouldn't be a commodity. That's the main problem. Inflation and cheap mortgages have overheated the housing market out of reach for first-time buyers. Your new kitchen would have added value, but not to the sky-high level we've seen in terms of the market. Now, young people can't afford homes. This is a massively overheated market, which older people are predominantly benefiting from now because their houses are worth, metric tons of money. So with this stuff here, with the tax stuff, I don't think there's much more to talk about. So we've got some time now. I can start reading comments. Then we'll move on to our next bit. Sorry if I've kind of blazed through it a bit. It's just been a bit of a long day. So yeah, if you guys got any comments, what I'll do is I'll kick on the old tunes for about the next few minutes. So if you guys got any interesting comments, there's like 13 people in the chat. So if you guys got anything interesting to add regarding the older people points, let me know. If not, what I can do is actually I can do a poll. Go away. Has that poll worked? Can you see a poll in the chat? I can't see one. I don't think that worked. Oh, there it is there. So do you want me to move on to the next topic now? I'll give you guys a minute to decide. Move on. I'll give you guys until it hits 27. Yeah, that's the thing, RC. It really does, and that's what someone else pointed out, that this kind of debate does suit the Tories quite well because it's just more infighting. The issue is that the older generation do have a lot to answer for, because these people, like, their age group keeps voting Tory. I guess you could argue my age group has a lot to answer for because we don't vote. So I guess it's on both ends really, but you keep voting. You voted for a party that's destroying health and social care, and now, you know, younger people predominantly are being taxed to pay for all of those cuts that older people benefited from. If you guys got any more comments regarding this topic, just throw them in now. The national insurance stuff. If not, I'm going to move on to the other bit. Having an other to point to as the culprit is the Tory way. That's true. It's very true. Yeah, we really do declare. The people keep voting against their best interests. Because they hate bloody foreigners. Alright, I think that poll is slightly conclusive, even though the sample size is very small. We'll move on to the next bit. So, Lord Frost has announced that the Northern Ireland Protocol will be extended indefinitely, confirmed it in a written statement. So, everything seems to become trench warfare, pretty much. This is trench warfare, son! So yeah, Frost has extended unilaterally the Northern Ireland Protocol. Once again, this is indefinite. He said, we will continue to talk to the EU if it's possible to make genuine and substantive progress on the proposals in our command paper in order to provide time and political space for discussions and to give business as much trading certainty as possible. We announced today that we will maintain existing arrangements for goods moving between GB and NI, including the current grace periods and easements. So yeah, Frost has basically said, that he's gonna, screw the rules essentially. I'm trying to find that was a BBC article I want to use. Oh, I must have lost it in the shuffle. Oh, what it is, we'll pause the music, we'll go back to retros. This one. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll play this one again. Hi from Generation X, we were ignoring, stuck in the middle. Yeah, but you've got to vote anyways. At least you can say I tried. Yeah. 100. Alright, let's have a look. There was a BBC article that wasn't great, but I think I've lost it in the shuffle, so we'll go back to that another time. Which is that, the UK seeks to extend the Northern Ireland grace period, so he's done it. I mean, the absolute madman. He's pushed the grace periods out, and so what that means is that, the UK is essentially breaking the agreement once again. The question is, what is anyone going to do about it? And what are the EU going to do about this? They've already basically paused legal action, so that's not going to happen. And, now the UK has just said, well, you don't care anymore. We're going to keep these grace periods as is. What are you going to do about it? And the EU have said, no, nothing, bro. We're going to be, we're still going to be in talks and stuff. And people keep mentioning that the WTO are going to get involved. I don't think WTO members are going to get involved because only the USA would, because the WTO is a very political court. And the issue is that they may not want to get involved in British politics, especially because they might see us as a potential trading partner to exploit. So, yeah. That's one of the reasons why I don't think the WTO members will sort of do anything about this. So the Taoiseach Leo Varadkar has said that Ireland expects Britain to announce further extensions to the grace period on goods imports into both Northern Ireland and the rest of the United Kingdom. Varadkar said that the UK would announce further extensions not just in relation to Northern Ireland but also imports into from the EU and Ireland into the UK. So that's interesting, this bit here, because what he's saying is we're already meant to do import checks in October and July. October and January even. That's when import checks are meant to happen. By the sounds of it, the Taoiseach thinks that's not going to happen. Excuse me. It is important that we use the period of any extensions that may occur really to get down to business and try and put in place permanent arrangements. The issue is the UK are happy to keep kicking the can down on extensions. Very happy to do so because this is an easy win for the UK. Varadkar, speaking following a meeting in London with Britain's Cabinet Office, Govey, warned that any more permanent solutions secured between London and Brussels would be within the confines of the existing agreement. I mean, the EU have really buckled here by the looks of things, because for some reason they cancelled their legal action, and then now they're just, the UK has extended these grace periods indefinitely, and the EU said, yeah, cool story. And, they don't look like they're going to do anything. And those people who keep saying, oh, it's happening behind the scenes and blah, 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 like, is no one concerned? Like, none of the voters are like, I want to see something happen. Like, the UK are absolutely just walking all over the EU with this regard. And the EU have done little to nothing to kind of, to do anything about the situation. I mean, surely you've got to say or do something. I just don't get it. I just don't understand what the EU's endgame is, and I genuinely wonder if the EU are as competent as people think. Yeah, I mean, they could wait until supply chains keep moving out, but the thing is, given the fact that what's his face has made it permanent, or not made it permanent, extend it indefinitely, there are chances, like if you're given a set deadline of get your supply chains out by this day, otherwise, the problems with you at that point, no one's going to bail you out there. That's fine, but the agreements have been extended indefinitely, so businesses actually have no certainty because the EU could try and pull the rug on this. The EU are doing a Schwarzenegger. What do you mean? I've never seen Arnie turn and run from a fight. We'll talk about this one in a minute. Actually, this one's quite funny. So yeah, that's kind of what I want to talk about here regarding this. I do want to talk about this in another video. So we'll give this one a separate video. I've lost the BBC article that I had open, which is really annoying. So yeah, we've got 2 more we can go through because I wanted this live stream to go on a bit longer. Mate, it can't be back. They barely did anything in the first place. Anyways, we're 1 sub away from 3K, so hopefully we can find that subscriber during my live stream. If not, we'll hopefully find him on Sunday, if no one else unsubs from the channel. Hopefully that'll be soon. But yeah, the leader of the DUP, Geoffrey Donaldson, has said the Irish government is persisting in harming the relationship between Northern Ireland and Great Britain by defending the Northern Ireland Protocol. Cancel legal proceedings. Yeah, pause it. But when are they gonna bring it back though? The idea was for the UK to use the extension to get the ducks in a row. I mean, sure, okay, you're gonna restart legal action, and then what? Like, the EU have been found, in my opinion, the EU have lost the battle of optics, ultimately. And other countries, I think, will look at this and see how kind of weak the EU have been. I mean, you're getting bullied by a bunch of clowns who have no idea what they're doing. Absolutely no clue about what they're doing. And you've shown no talent, no guile, no ability to negotiate anything. Sefcovic talked about, oh yeah, we're gonna use sanctions and stuff, bro. Like, yeah, don't be doing no more extensions unilaterally. And then Frost pulls out the ultimate kind of attack, which is an indefinite extension, which means that he could put any date on this. This could go on forever essentially, and the EU are not going to do anything about it. Frost could thaw and refreeze, and this extension would still be there. Honestly, it's a joke. But yeah, we'll talk about this one, and then we'll go back. The Geoffrey Donaldson has said the Irish government is persisting in harming. I mentioned that. Donaldson was in Dublin on Friday to meet the Taoiseach for the first time since he became DUP leader. The issue is that he's going to keep blaming the Irish government for backing the Northern Ireland Protocol, and the Northern Ireland Protocol is the thing that stopped the Troubles. So, it's what this guy here is saying. Donaldson's a joke, and when I cover the actual article, I'll go into more detail about how stupid this man is. So we've got Mr. M&S himself. We'll talk about him, and then we've got one more I wanted to go through. 1 or 2 more, and then we'll call it, because I've got stuff to do. The thing is, yeah, like, with the EU, they're not doing anything, and no one's intervening. So, nothing is happening here. The UK's attacks on the EU are flea bites. The main priority is to protect Northern Ireland. Yeah, but what happens once that Australia deal kicks in a few years and we start importing hormone beef? Is the EU going to step up then? Like, it's just the EU have been found absolutely wanting here. Especially since it's the UK that are carrying out border checks as well between GB and NI. They could keep weakening those checks, and eventually hardly anything will get checked down that channel or sea, whatever you want to call it. Because the thing is, the UK's plan is basically to either force a hard border in Ireland or force Ireland out of the EU single market or customs union, or use Ireland as a kind of backdoor into the EU. That's kind of the UK's plan. That was Dominic Cummings' plan by the looks of it, and the EU have absolutely allowed it. It's a joke. You know, the EU have shown no kind of guile whatsoever. So if there's anything, we'll give that a few minutes. We can discuss that one and go to the next one. Once the hormone beef starts hitting GB markets, the EU will stomp on meat exports hard. Are they though? Are they? You know what? You could do that now. Realistically, you could get everything sorted now, just like they've done on the French border, the UK French border. So, you know, if the EU don't put their foot down now, I don't think they ever will. It's not about preemptive actions though, is it? The UK have already made the move. They've already said we're going to get rid of checks indefinitely. The UK have already done this. So at this point, you're asking for retaliation. It's not a preemptive attack, is doing the indefinite extensions on the grace periods. That's the thing. Maybe if the EU were a bit more proactive and a bit more prepared, they wouldn't be in a situation where, in terms of optics, which again people think aren't important, there are, you know, the French elections are coming up. I think there's some German ones too. I don't think the people of Germany or France are going to look too kindly with the UK causing absolute havoc within the EU and absolutely no one doing anything about it. So yeah. So yeah, we'll give this a few minutes and we'll talk about the M&S guy. We'll start talking about this story about, like, say, in about 3 minutes. The EU has this covered. Bear in mind, they don't give a monkeys about English public opinion. What about French public opinion? Or the Germans? Surely, or the Irish? Surely they are looking at this and thinking, the British have done this indefinitely and we have no response. Because Sefcovic is the one who said, if the UK do any more unilateral action, we will drop sanctions on them. Well, where are they then? You know, what have you been doing for the last couple of days? Surely at this point, you start looking at getting rid of bits of the Brexit deal, the trade and cooperation agreement. If I claim damages from you, I need first proof you damaged me until there's clear monetary damage. But the thing is, the EU had, if that's the case, the EU would never have declared legal action if there was no monetary damage. That's the thing. So the EU would never have done legal action when they did during the kind of start and middle of the year. So it's not about monetary damage, it's about breaking the agreement. Because the original EU legal action, it doesn't look like it's about monetary damage. It's about the UK breaching its agreement. It's about breach of contract. And if the EU aren't going to act now, when are they going to act? That's the question. How long does the EU Commission last for? Is it 5 years? Are they waiting for the next Don to come in to do something? Because I think von der Leyen's been there since 2019. The end of 2019, I believe. So she's still got a few more years. These things are just irritants. If you're on the mainland, they might seem huge, but the EU have bigger things like COVID, Russia, China, etc. I mean, that's true, but there's a massive hole in the single market and the customs union. There's a gigantic hole in it, and they've done nothing to fill that gap. If anything, you could argue that what the UK are doing, especially once more deregulation kicks in, which looks like it's on the way, is going to do far more damage than Russia or China would do, from the standpoint of Russia and China not being massive threats to the single market and the customs union. And also the fact that they have the Yanks to back them when it comes to Russia or China. The EU will act once GB actually diverges. There's no harm to the single market before that. The UK has already started though, that's the thing. The UK has already started when it comes to, I think Max covered it recently with regards to contaminants in the water and things like that. So the level playing field is being corroded. So, you know, again, if it's the case that they're waiting for the UK to take further actions with regards to deregulation, then fine. But again, you're being reactive instead of being proactive, and that's, you know, at that point, are you actually going to do something? Where do they actually draw the line? Because clearly, it wasn't at the breach of the Northern Ireland Protocol, even though they said it was. So it's a bit of a joke, to be honest. But yeah, we'll talk about the M&S guy. So the legendary Marks and Spencer's boss, who has both the knowledge of Parliament and business, who has failed really hard this year, said that the UK is not ready for the new paperwork, the import checks. In a letter to suppliers, it said UK and EU bodies were not ready for the new paperwork needed next month when grace periods end on import checks. Now, I think he might be right here that the EU businesses might not necessarily be ready, but I can see a lot of them saying this is too expensive for us to export to the UK. We're just not going to bother. Instead, in some EU states, offices will not open at weekends, which would cause significant disruption to imports. Do they mean exports from the EU? I mean, that doesn't make any sense, this sentence here. Give me one moment. Does he mean exports from the EU to GB? The way they phrase that is very weird. Supply chains in the UK are under stress because of the lorry driver shortage. The new rules mean lorry drivers importing goods will need some 700 pages of documents. I mean, good luck. Good luck with that, guys. In a letter to suppliers, first reported by the Times, M&S set out a wide range of problems, including a lack of vets for essential checks, which is true. We have a massive privatised network of vets who would typically rather work with, friendly animals like my cat than, big farm animals that can put you on the ground really easily. Unpreparedness, in some cases, not having translated the rules into local languages, while it says some authorities do not know what will be required. I mean, to be fair, that doesn't surprise me at all, that these people don't know what's needed, because a lot of EU companies would never have needed to do exports to third countries, because a lot of them wouldn't have done it. It's the bigger ones that would have knowledge of it, and so those kind of smaller producers, especially in the EU, sort of agri-foods, will struggle dramatically. And it also said, let me pause the music actually. It's vibing pretty hard there. Just let that go. It said suppliers had expressed concern that in some EU states, officials issue export health certificates needed for trade in animal products only work standard office hours Monday to Friday, which is true, that vets only work sort of weekdays because it's a skilled profession, and those people don't want to work weekends. They work hard during the week instead, and so that means you're going to have to pay people to work over the weekend, which is a hard sell. Excuse me. Or it means you can't export meat and agri-food products during the weekend, which would be a nightmare. As modern food systems rely on importing food 7 days a week, this movement pattern will cause significant disruption to that import schedule and exacerbate the HGV driver shortage, because the the vets that are needed won't be available during the weekend, which is hilarious. And we probably don't. Neither side has the number to be dealing with it. I can imagine a lot of kind of vets in the EU would be dealing with British exports, so I don't think a lot of them will have time for EU exports, as well as EU member countries importing into GB. The issue will markedly affect goods crossing from Great Britain into Northern Ireland. Currently, supermarkets that send products to Northern Ireland from Great Britain only face light touch checks under the grace period, but that's been implemented indefinitely. So that this bit here is slightly irrelevant. So we'll go on. M&S says, unless matters are simplified, there's a real danger, disruption and delay at the EU-GB border. So that's exports going from the EU to GB will face massive problems. That will lead to significant food waste across the sector, reductions in range and availability, and inflationary pressures, which is true that the UK is going to face massive problems. Because of this, we're not going to be able to get the ingredients and raw materials that we need, especially for fresh fruit and vegetables. Although reports have emerged that the UK is expecting to announce further delays, so I wonder who's actually posted that, because I've heard about delays in the Irish Sea, but I've not heard about delays kind of towards the sort of the other, from say Rotterdam to the UK or from France to the UK. I've not heard of any delays in that sense. Although M&S warned in July it had already put Christmas products in Northern Ireland due to concerns over the forthcoming post-Brexit customs checks, its chairman, former Conservative MP Archie Norman, said once light touch export checks end, there will be gaps on the shelves there. I mean, there were gaps at the start of the year, but the issue is with the Northern Ireland Protocol being extended indefinitely, I wonder how much damage further checks will do, considering they're at a light touch already. See. So that was another one. Let's have a look. Was there any more? This one I wasn't going to cover. I mean, this is pretty funny, and you've got Donaldson and Frost both talking about how much damage the Northern Ireland Protocol has done. But these are two who voted to support Brexit, and one of them supported for the who negotiated the Northern Ireland Protocol. So it's a bit of a joke, to be honest. Also, this story is pretty funny as well. That one there. So if we have a look, just go back to the comments. The EU is more like a speedboat. It's more like a tanker. Starts out slowly, but moves fast over time. I mean, sure, but how much time do they need to start moving? Because if anything, the tanker stopped and it hasn't started again. Let's have a look. Marks and Spencer screwed the pooch when they started spanking all island distribution hub in Scotland instead. Well, to be fair, when Scotland gets independence, I guess it would seem like great foresight. The Swiss border is only open during business hours. The UK is not the centre of the EU's universe. When will the so-called business leaders and politicians realise this? True, true, true. Yes, I mentioned that in another video. Archie Norman is a fool. I frankly think that M&S and Sainsbury's leaders are Brexiteers and refuse to do what is right for their businesses because of their ideology. I think that's very possible. It's very possible that these guys back the Tories, and now it's very hard for them to come out against Brexit because of the fact that they support the government that has implemented it. That's the main issue. So if we look a bit into this one, and what we'll do is we'll just spend the last kind of 5-10 minutes chatting, because I need to go at 7. When did Sam Harford comment anything? Oh, I see his comment. So yeah, these guys backed Brexit, and now they're stuck. It's having a sauna. Yeah, I wish I had a sauna. Let's see, we can start closing off some of these, because I'm not gonna, with regards to some of this stuff here, I'm not gonna cover it in another video. So I can get rid of all the infinite tabs I have. So what we'll do is we'll go back to the, let me end the poll. What we'll do is we'll kick on the music. I'll read your comments out for the next 10 minutes. So with regards to the Northern Ireland Protocol, again, I don't know what happens from here. Sure, if the EU are gambling on Irish unification, what they're really gambling is on Brandon Lewis to do a border poll, which will take time. Yeah, I'm doing okay-ish, I guess. It's still a bit, because of work. Like, I've been working today really since 9. And then, jumping onto a live stream is quite tricky, but I don't want to do the live streams too late. Because, I've got work in the morning and so do other people. Richard Budgeon saying that if we put a 10% tax on all the wealth of those worth over £100 million, would raise 69 billion pounds in tax. That's how the wealth tax should be raised, which is true. The EU have rejected the UK's demand to renegotiate the Northern Ireland Protocol. So what we'll do is we'll save that one for an actual video. Let's see. Trying to see if there's another one I'll put on. We'll put on this one then, because I like this one. Let's see. Is there anything else that's interesting in the Discord? Well, Britain no longer in the top 10 for trade for Germany. That's crazy. Thing is, we haven't even started doing import checks yet either. That's the crazy thing. So that's what kind of scares me the most. Someone's dropped a message in the Discord. Okay, no, it's fine. Damn. Okay, just bear with me. Sorry guys, just got a bit distracted for a minute there. Yeah, I'd rather do it at 6 o'clock, to be fair. 7 AM. Is that 7 AM German time or UK time? You know, the EU slow. Have you ever seen a civil servant run? It's all protocol and only act when other things have been depleted. Yeah, but at the same time, they can be prepared for when an outcome happens. That's the thing. So that's the thing. So I wouldn't. So yeah, like, you know, with regards to like with the legal action, not the extension in March, but the one that we did in June, or sorry, whenever it was May, the EU could have had that one prepared to say, look, as soon as the UK announced unilateral action, boom, legal action, have fun. Yeah, the thing is though, Denmark, you guys have strong unions, right? We don't have that. Our unions are absolutely decimated, and also the fact that I think it's Minus, he's not here, that, you know, that EU workers can't be paid less than native workers, and that helps a lot. So they can't be undercut. So that helps a lot. The situation is crushing for UK business. At some point, the economic situation in the UK will implode. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one to see when that actually happens. Because at the moment, we're in a negative spiral right now. We are running out of stuff to sell, and that's going to cause a massive growth problem. Because people are going to have a lot of money and nowhere to spend it, especially because of people are struggling to go on holiday because they don't want to have to self-isolate. So you're going to have a massive influx of, I think, a lot of people being poor because, you know, without sales happening, you're going to need less staff, and that's going to cause cuts in one direction. But the industries that do survive and the ones that are still needed, they're going to have, you know, workers that have a lot more money in savings, which aren't being spent. So that's not going to be great either, because in a capitalist country you need expenditure, you need money to be spent, and we just don't have that. At the moment, the supply lines in Northern Ireland change in a few months. Invoking Article 16 will harm Northern Ireland. Why should the EU fuss about the situation? I mean, to be fair, you know, our supply line is going to keep moving, because now it's been announced indefinitely that the Northern Ireland Protocol is here to stay. There's no time limit now. So our supply chain is going to keep moving out. That's the question. It's a negative spiral, but the UK is a service-based economy. It's a slow puncture. We know when that puncture happened. It's unlikely the UK economy will grow. It's likely the UK economy will grow just far slower. Yeah, I think a lot of services have left. I mean, I think financial services make up 10% of the UK's tax revenue, which is very, very high. Once Biden has filled the WTO with new judges, will claim, that's an interesting one actually, because Trump decimated the WTO, didn't he? He got rid of a lot of the judges, so that's quite an interesting point actually from Mr. Cruz. The only interesting is Gamonti. It won't be a bond crisis because the Bank of England money printing could be a rapid rise in. We are facing a rapid rise in inflation, to be fair. Oh, it's Obama. Okay, why did Obama do that then? That's very interesting. Was not aware of that. Why would Obama do that? Brexiteers were jumping up and down about financial services 2021 performance versus 2019 this week. Does anyone know what the catch is here? I don't believe them. That's quite odd. Why would they be celebrating this year's financial services? They've not been that great. You know, didn't Amsterdam beat us up, you know, in terms of being a clearinghouse or something like that? I'm guessing a bit more hype on. Wow, the temptation. Put this one. This one of my favourites. After what I'll do is I'll drop a link for this one to live chat. This is one of his best. The Android Orchestra's best. Select user stats, yeah. There are lies, damn lies, and statistics, something like that. The next thing that EU should do from the UK is trade of bullion gold, which has gone. The UK will drop out of the G7. I mean, we have to really wait to the end of the year for any kind of indication on services. That's the thing. Damn, we're at 2,999 subs. We're almost at 3k. Yeah, people are saying you don't disturb the opponent when they're making mistakes, but you know what are the consequences of the UK doing this unilateral action? I'm not seeing any. You know, if the legal action doesn't take place, you know, what difference does this make then? The EU aren't going to punish the UK over this. The WTO members look like they're not going to do anything. So ultimately, there is no consequence of Lord Frost's actions. This is not the Brexit I voted for. Quite striking how quickly national support for a national insurance rise fell apart. That's true actually, because I think people like would say, yeah, I support a national insurance increase, but when it happens they're like, no, I don't want to pay more in tax. So I was just on Twitter for a sec. See what you guys have said. Brexiteers always good fighting data. Mate, taxes are good when they get your money's worth. That's true, to be fair. And I think at the moment, given the sorry state of social services, I don't think most people would support an increase in national insurance because they're just not seeing their money being spent well. See what else is there. I'm suspecting the EU is waiting for this thing to play out. The legal action will take place when the punishment is not politically so salient. I mean, I just don't know what they're waiting for at this point, though. That's my point. Is you either retaliate quickly once they've made the move, or you bide your time for something better. Nothing better is going to pop up from this. Let's have a look. Colonial mindset of UK politicians to announce the rules from London they expect the world by will hit them with reality. I mean, yeah, we've been waiting for reality to kick in for a long time. Reality isn't coming. Tories hold all the cards because the UK isn't playing the game. It's trying to de-escalate. The thing is, though, you can't de-escalate a situation when one side doesn't want to de-escalate. It's like, imagine, right, if someone demands that you fight him right now, and you're like, nah, just calm down, and the guy starts swinging for you. Are you going to be like, nah, bro, you need to calm down? No, it's fighting time at that point. And, the EU aren't doing anything. See, the trade in bullion gold is like the Lugano Convention. No one knows how important it is until it's gone. Okay, fair enough. The EU do not want to be seen to be blamed for UK problems. Yeah, the thing is, though, like, if it's the case, people keep saying the EU don't care about the optics and stuff like that. Well, if that's the case, then the EU don't care about being seen as the bad guys in this one, because evidently, according to some people, they don't care about optics. Irish politicians are especially aware of the need to talk nice, but don't for a minute trust Frost and co. That might be true, but when are they going to do anything? Especially since the British government is determined to force Ireland out of the single market and the customs union. True, but the Brexiteers are swinging. Then they have to retreat. I mean, possibly, but they've won this round essentially. The Frost has gotten what he wanted, which is indefinite access to for certain products to make it into Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland is effectively a backdoor into Northern Ireland is effectively a backdoor into the single market. See, the UK government actions are currently harming the UK, not the EU. It's not time to retaliate. But if the EU keeps allowing things like chilled meats into Northern Ireland without doing anything, that is, that breaks aspects of the EU law, which is that they don't take chilled meats from third countries. Football's been cancelled, guys, so I've got a bit more time now. We've got a good showing as well, 11 people, double digits. So look, so RC, you're saying the UK don't care about optics, but you've got Declan over there. I don't want to pit you guys off against each other. You're saying the EU don't want to be seen as the bad guy. Well, you can't be both. It's either you don't care if you're seen as the bad guy, or you don't want to be seen as the bad guy. Hence, you don't do anything. I think I fight fair bane when it's on. Is on. What? The punishment will come maybe 3 years later. That's what it looks like. But in 3 years' time, Boris has got French, German election. So yeah, let's have a look. Trust me, the punishment will come maybe 3 years later. I mean, like I said, Boris Johnson will be gone by then, so it won't be pointless, but it'll be kind of pointless. You won't punish the people that you punished. Let's have a look. French-German elections campaigning in full swing. They don't care much about Brexit right now. Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. Especially because the French aren't super impacted by it. So okay, that's fine. The Germany being the same. I think the only ones who will be concerned right now are the Irish. But as Joni K said, today it does not matter because the UK rules have not changed yet. But they have extended the grace period indefinitely, and those rules are on the way to being changed. The UK have already made certain changes with regards to dumping, toxic waters, I think. I'd like to see a quicker punishment, but I think this is the game, and I suspect they are playing. The thing is, right, what Maros Sefcovic said, if the UK takes any more unilateral action, if the UK takes any more unilateral action, then there will be sanctions. Let's have a look quickly. Let's have a look. Is this the one I looked at before? Sorry, the room's getting a bit dark. See, patience with the UK weighing very thin, says Sefcovic. The EU has warned Britain it could impose trade sanctions if there's a further breach of the Northern Ireland Protocol after very difficult talks in London. So he's saying, this could happen. This is a possibility. There's a letter of formal notice, so that was obviously in March. So you've got the EU threatens the UK with legal action over bill that breaches the withdrawal agreement. That's already happened again. EU governments back legal action against the UK. That was in March. You've got the sausage war nonsense. EU says it will act firmly if the UK doesn't honour Brexit deal. EU threatens sanctions in row over withdrawal agreement. So the EU have constantly threatened this. Sefcovic has constantly threatened this. Let me just turn the light on, guys. We'll go until about 1:15. Good showing. The thing is that the EU have constantly threatened legal action, right? When it comes to the Northern Ireland Protocol, if the UK keeps doing stupid stuff. The question is, what are they going to do then? Because it looks like it's a big load of nothing. Brexit is not an issue in the papers, in the continent, so there's no public pressure. They simply do not care about the UK anymore. I've heard that about Finland as well. They're the same. That's the point, though, isn't it? Because the Irish, there were constant stories about Ireland being taken out of the single market and customs union if the UK, because a hard border in Ireland won't happen. So the options are, the Irish Sea option, which is happening now, or Ireland gets taken out. And the thing is, most of those things, the two of the three options are basically impossible. because if they happen, it's going to be a disaster. If you put a border in the Irish Sea, I mean in the island of Ireland, you're going to release the Troubles again, which no one wants to see that. If you take Ireland out of the single market and customs union, unless you take them out of the whole EU, which the EU can't actually do, what that means is that they'll just veto everything. So they'll just cause absolute chaos within the EU, not to mention the fact that the EU would screw over not just a member, but also a former colony, in order to protect its mainland single market, which would be a disaster. So I think the Irish are very nervous because it doesn't look like the EU have backed them. They're gathering all the evidence. Mate, the thing is they've got more than enough evidence so the ECJ can make a bulk decision. The thing is that's what they were going to do. From the person I spoke to, who is a well-regarded lawyer, she told me that that's what the EU were in the process of, to do this ruling in I think it's September or October. So that would have happened by around now had the UK kept legal action, but they didn't. The Irish are not leaving the single market. Story put around. Yeah, that's the thing though, isn't it? Because think about it like this, right? You've got three options. You've got the Irish Sea option, you've got the island border within the island of Ireland, or Ireland coming out of the single market. Two of those can't happen because one, you're risking a war. The second one, it's just politically for the EU, it's too dangerous. But if the UK keep violating the part of the Irish Sea kind of bit, the Northern Ireland Protocol, what does the EU do in that regard? Do they allow a massive hole in their single market? To be fair, pause and suspension are the same things, really, when you think about it. If you suspend something, you can just bring it back at any moment. So yes, they haven't cancelled it, but they would have had a resolution by around now had they kept it. Now it's going to take even longer, especially now with Frosty taking absolute unilateral action. Because he hasn't just taken an extension by 3 months, he's saying indefinitely. These could be permanent. The EU takes care of its own. The EU will push the UK into the Atlantic before they abandon Ireland. The EU have deep pockets. True, that might be the case, but the question is, when are they going to step up? Because right now they haven't. Is it the case they're going to wait for the Australia deal? Because I think that's about 2 years down the line from getting anywhere regarding that hormone beef. So are we going to wait another 2 years for the EU to do something? Because that's a long time. If a week is a long time in politics, 2 years must be an eternity at that point. And for those people who keep saying, the EU are working behind the scenes and stuff, where are the fruits of their labour then? This has been going on for less than a year. Expect the movement on this after the summit later this year. I mean, to be fair though, people have been saying expect movement after the G7 meeting and all this stuff. And we saw Boris Johnson get an earful from a lot of the EU members and also from the Americans. But if anything, he has been emboldened now because he has taken he has done the thing that the EU really didn't want him to do, which is indefinite unilateral action. There are no dates now. He could keep this going till the end of time if he wants to. After until the unification of Ireland, he can keep this going. The EU's not abandoning Ireland because plenty of countries are afraid of being abandoned for Russia, Turkey's aggression. So what are they going to do to back Ireland then? Because we've already seen we're seeing a massive hole in the single market now. Unless the EU are waiting for unification. It's still a summer break. Oh, okay, that's a fair point. Okay, fair enough. The EU Parliament is still on summer break. Wow, you guys have long holidays then. I vote May. If they made me EU Commissioner, no one would be safe. If they made me EU Commissioner, I'd be like, look, you take unilateral action one more time and I'm tearing up this TCA. Your people are going to get hit with tariffs real quick. It's a one-sided battle as well because the UK can't actually put tariffs on EU products because the UK aren't doing checks. That's what they should have done. The extension doesn't matter as long as the goods apply with UK standards. If the standards are set to lapse during that extension, that's an explicit breach of the withdrawal agreement, not just a matter of intent. That will happen soon though, that's the thing, that will be happening soon. Once that Aussie deal kicks in, that's when it's done. When the goods and food of lower quality start entering the UK market, they will definitely be taken. But the thing is, right, that's potentially 2 years down the line. And how much will is there for them to do anything at that point? 2 years down the line, that's the question. That's why they're better off acting now to draw where the line is. But the thing is, they haven't done that. And if you keep letting countries like the UK get away with things, they ain't gonna care. We've been listening to a lot of the Android orchestra. Let me see if I can find. Where's that Metal Gear one LZ did? Oh, I'm going to get in trouble with all these guys. Support all these musicians, guys. Okay, I don't want to get in trouble with anyone. I don't mind if they copyright it, like if they claim the revenue from it, that's fine. But I don't want them to take down my stream. This one's a good one. So yeah, is that the case? You guys are saying that the EU is going to wait until the standards change. Is that what you guys are saying? I think you're correct about the Aussie deal, but even inside the EU, it took years to punish the UK for a lapse on allowing Chinese contraband in. This is how international law functions. That is, it's not immediate, but you could get all your ducks in a row. You could easily get all your ducks in a row before that. So as soon as the UK makes that action, you have all the gears ready to move, and you could get moving on it. But the EU have been proven, I think, at least. Oh, he's got the Bardock theme. Oh, that could be copyrighted. Okay, won't touch that one. The problem is, if once that Aussie beef starts going into the UK, are you telling me at that point the EU are saying, oh yeah, we're going to take legal action, which could take months, and at that point you're allowing that stuff to get into the single market? If the EU got their ducks in a row and actually figured out, look, the UK could do this, what are the contingency plans? That's what the EU realistically needed to do. But the EU haven't done that. They've been very reactive, not proactive at all, and that's a failure of governance at that point if you're not prepared for things. We've seen that in Afghanistan recently. None of the governments were prepared for the fall of the Afghan army, and what do you have? An absolute collapse. If the EU don't prepare for this, they could face massive problems in the single market with cheap cuts being put in via Northern Ireland, and that is not what anyone wants. Well, that's what maybe the Australians want, but that's neither here nor there. The TCA allows for immediate retaliation. That's the point though, isn't it? They could have retaliated by now if they wanted to. They have been very timid and decided not to. I suppose if they did take action, it might damage the sort of the EU economy a bit. Trade sanctions would happen immediately in the implementation of the UK-Aussie deal. That's already been agreed though. That's the thing. That stuff will be coming in the next couple of years. I guess it's just a waiting game then, if that's what you guys are saying. But I think it's very stupid to play that sort of game, to wait that long. I suppose that's one of the points that you did make though. They will keep, they'll allow the extensions to the Northern Ireland Protocol so long as, the chilled meats and stuff are still to EU standard. I guess the question is, once the UK starts deregulation, what are the EU going to do then? Where do they draw the line of deregulation? But the case is for the threat to the single market has not been fulfilled yet. Well, to be fair, there's a that's true actually. Yeah. Once the Australian beef kicks in, then the retaliation comes in. It hasn't been implemented, so no need to do anything now. I suppose the only threat is that British kind of chilled meats are getting into the EU single market without being checked, without being properly checked, anyways. So that is an issue because the EU doesn't allow chilled meats to go into the EU. Politicians always favour the waiting game because they don't want consequences of their actions. That's the problem. But there are consequences to not acting. That's the main issue. Alright, cool. We're going to close off the stream in the next couple of minutes. Is there anything else you guys want to add before we call it? Also, again, thank you for the super chat. Eamon, I'm not sure how to pronounce your Shrumbry. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but thank you again for the super chat if you're still here. This is some of his best work, to be fair. Trying to see if there's anything else. Most of this stuff be copyrighted. There's too many words. That's the one I wanted. It's my boy Alazid. You guys have until the song ends. So you guys got 3 minutes until the song ends. You're correct, but the compromise on UK mincemeat is for Ireland. It's true, but it's still getting into the EU single market, which the EU doesn't allow chilled meats into the single market from third countries. So that's happened. Take care, man. Just keep your head high. Yeah, I'll do my best. But yeah, any final comments, guys? Got on a bit longer than I intended to, but that's mainly because football's been cancelled for today. Da, 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 da. I'm going to take it as a no, guys. Got a lot of stories to go through during the weekend. Metal Gear Boris, if only. A politician to surpass Boris Johnson. What? Yeah, the EU Commission is geared towards compromise, but you can't keep compromising with people who keep taking advantage of you. It doesn't work. You know, you either start throwing hard right hands and, you know, making things stick. Otherwise, you're going to get bullied. And that's the thing. In my opinion, it definitely feels like the EU have been bullied when it comes to the Northern Ireland Protocol. So yeah, you know, if the EU doesn't start throwing hands soon, it's not a great look for them. Bye, RC. You know, von der Leyen, I think the EU's current commission have shown they are not the most talented group of politicians out there. In my opinion, at least anyways. You know, fair enough, they've had 2 big crises to deal with in the space of, what, a year? Less than a year? But they have found themselves wanting, I think. I do not have a lot of faith in those guys and gals. Yeah, this is some fella's Eats best work as well. Let's see, have we managed to get that mythical third? We're at 298, or 1998 even. Just bear with me 1 second. Right. Like I said, you guys got till the song ends. That's about another 10 seconds. So thanks everyone for joining. Always appreciate it. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and oops. I'll see you guys in the next stream. I'm missing two people. I need 2 more for 3k. But the thing is, the EU commissions are not just politicians, they are bureaucrats. That is true, actually, yeah. That is true, and bureaucracy is a slow mover. Cheers. See you later. Yeah, see you, Declan, mate. Now 1. What? Let's have a look. It's just 1. So waiting for 1 more person. Have a great evening. It's almost night time here, to be fair, but yeah, thanks, pal. But yeah, be showing off some more music next week. I've just got to avoid the copyright. That's the dream. But yeah, I'll catch you guys. I'll catch you guys next time. I'll end the stream here. Just bear with me 1 minute. Yes.